Hi guys, I apologize for the quality of the video. My forward facing camera is not that great, but I wanted to talk about adornments on your statue of Santa Muerte. Well, any statue really. Adornments on the statue and their significance. And one thing that I found out over time, okay, a cool little trick. So my Santa Muerte is a life-size skeleton. I'm looking at it right now. My Santa Muerte is a life-size skeleton, and she's covered in bracelets and jewelry and earrings and, a crown and clothing and all of that. At first, it started with me giving those those adornments. It started with me giving them to her. Because they didn't feel right on me. Like I would actually start to get like nauseated, or I would start to feel like sick. And then when I would give it to her, I would feel better. I found out later why that happens. That was happening because she was taking a hit for me. And by me continuing to wear that jewelry, which had evil eye, which had envy, which had witchcraft, whatever on it, by me wearing it was keeping me under that spell. So when she took it, she took the curse away. It took me a long time to figure that out. So now she's covered with like lots of jewelry and lots of bracelets and everything, all different kinds. Sometimes people would send me things in the mail and I would cleanse it and everything. I would try to wear it, but it just didn't feel right. Like it felt like a ball in my stomach, and I would put it on her and I'd feel better. What does that say? It should have been obvious what it said, but I just didn't know. So she has lots of jewelry, like I said, for like the umpteenth time. Sorry, I keep repeating myself. But I learned a trick. Once I got the life-size skeleton, which was a gift, I learned a trick. Every time someone gives you jewelry or gives you something that you can wear, I would put it on the statue as a way, and I might have mentioned this already, I would put it on the statue as a way of protecting that person with her energy. There are people out there that don't know that the things that they gave me are on the statue. Why? Because I'm using it to protect them. It has their energy on it. Oh, now nobody's going to send me anything. It has their energy on it, and I put it on my statue to protect them and to keep them out of harm's way, to put them on the right track, or to have a healthy life, or everything good for them, to cut their obstacles away, to do everything that Santa Muerte does. They don't know, but now they do. But so that's why my life-size skeleton image of her is just chock full of all kinds of stuff. But I learned that trick. And I've noticed that's something that I've noticed is that once I did that, there's just little signs that she's been kind of intervening for those people. Little tiny signs. But because they don't know who she is, or because they don't like fully invest in her and stuff like that, they don't know that those little signs are from her. And that's okay. They don't need to know. I'm not doing like, it's not like putting spell work on people or anything like that. It's just kind of like lighting a candle for them and wishing them the best. It's kind of like the equivalent. I had debated for a while because the life-size skeleton takes up a lot of space, right? I had debated on just kind of like putting it away, but I was like, no. Her life-size skeleton is a working altar in and of itself. She is a spell, right? I have invested so much energy and so much time into it that it itself, the icon itself, has become a spell. So perhaps, if you haven't already, you can take this, you can take this concept and apply it to your practice. We invest a lot of our energy into those statues. We do. Maybe we don't want to admit it to ourselves, but we do. We love and adorn our statues. Why? Because that's the way things always have been. We want to love on something. We want to hold it physically. We want to nurture it. We want to give it all of our, essence, all of our being, to show that spirit how much we care. Physically, that's all we can do, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, I don't think. There's excessiveness on either side. There's excessiveness with fanaticism, and then there's excessive buying of statues, filling up whole rooms just because it looks pretty or because you want that aesthetic. There's excessive things on all sides. But one thing's for sure is that more times than most, the reason why we have an idol is because we need it in that moment in our lives. We need it, and I've seen a lot of people's statues, after a while, after they've invested enough time, that statue becomes lively, right? And what do I mean by that? I've seen many cases where the statue animates. I personally have had eyes pop up in the eye sockets. You can see them. You can see eyelids. You can see the color of the eyes. You can see everything like a real human eye. You can see it manifest in the statue. I have video proof I can show you. If you go some videos back, it'll just type in my name and put eyes. You'll see it. And it's just been happening for many people. And it's been happening for many people. And sometimes the statues will rotate or move. And that's not a scary thing. That's not a bad thing. One thing that Santa Muerte does for us through her idols is she warns us of danger. Okay? It's the equivalent of if any other depiction of a spirit or a deity or anything like that were to move. It's a heads up. It's saying, something's going down and I want you to know because I'm your spirit and I'm here for you. So that can often sometimes come off as scary because we're not used to it. But it's one of the perks of having an idol. It's one of the perks of having a statue or many. See, the really cool thing, even though I don't really do this anymore, the really cool thing about having like the multicolored statues is that you are training yourself and you are training the spirit to hone in on a certain energy. Like, see, my tattoo is blue. The robe is blue. So if we read any books in English or if we read any books in general, blue is usually associated either with law or with knowledge. In my brain, I associated blue with knowledge, education, learning, teaching. Oh, so that's why I was okay with getting blue. Normally I would have been black, but on my skin, black is just going to look like one huge smudge. Okay? So it's kind of being a little bit realistic there too. And so I'm thinking of blue, I'm thinking of education. So if your blue statue were to move in any certain direction, there could be an interrupt in the flux and the flow of your spiritual education or your scholastic education, right? It could be that. If it was your green statue, it could be with the law or with your health. It all depends on what you associate. In the statues that have like a multitude of little things on them, that would be a little bit more difficult. It would all depend. Hold on, my cat's trying to get into my packing stuff. Get out of here. Go on. Go play somewhere else. It all depend. Don't ask me. It would all depend on what you associate that with. The brain and the mind is a powerful thing. So if you only have red, black, and white, you'd have to really decipher what does red mean, what does black mean, what does white mean to you if that statue moved. So moving on. As far as colors and that sort of thing, I hardly put my investment in that anymore because I'm of the mindset of dressing up my life-size skeleton. It's a medical skeleton. I have always been one that was enamored with the beautiful shrines in Mexico, with the big prom dresses, with the wedding dresses, with the beautiful flowing gowns, they were not abiding by a certain color. They weren't thinking about, oh, what do daisies mean? What do stripes mean? No, they were just like, this is a beautiful dress. I'm going to put it on my Santa Muerte statue, and she's going to look beautiful. By my adorning her, that in and of itself was probably a favor rendered, you know, and it was my promise to her to get her a new dress. Is that simple? It's probably that simple. And the same thing with the jewelry. They may not put jewelry on the statue because it was a favor given, or they might, you know. Bracelets too. Like, I'm just saying, the point of the video is do everything with purpose, you know. Don't make it overly complicated. Some things are really simplistic. Oh my god. Okay, so this was many years ago, and I don't mean to poke fun. But the reason why I'm like, oh my god, is because I had this person come to me, tell me that the inscriptions on the side that meant a certain thing, they were S's, and they were like, that means Santa Muerte. And I'm like, I promise you, they're just designs. They're just doilies. They're little scribbles. I promise you. It's what is it, French? It's like a little sideways S on a lot of the sides. It's a sideways S. It's just a pretty little design. It's not an S for Santa Muerte. It's not an S for anything else. So La Salud. It's not. It's just a design. Some things are just really simple, you know? Some things don't require a deep explanation. And I've seen quite a few people that are just taking this and just making it so complicated. I have to tell you something else before I go. Veneration to Santa Muerte and Mexican witchcraft are not exclusive. You don't have to do both together. They just so happen to be done both together a lot of times. But Saint Veneration is simply Saint Veneration. You pray, you petition, you pay homage, and if there's a task that was granted, a favor that was granted, you pay up, and that is that. It's really that simple, like you do with any other deity or spirit. But if you decide to include witchcraft in it, of course it's going to be more complicated, because you have to learn a whole system of witchcraft. You have to learn a whole system of curing too. People also use Santa Muerte sometimes to cure, you know, or if you're just doing general workings, you have to learn that whole system. That's not exclusive to Santa Muerte. Okay? It doesn't have to be. You make it exclusive by clumping them together, but they're not. They go hand in hand, but they're still different hands. So, if you honor and venerate Santa Muerte, you don't have to do anything other than whatever you want to do. But more than most people are doing like Catholic-based things with some paganism thrown in there. You know, the food offerings, the prayers, the rosaries, the petitions, the veneration, the worship. All of that is rooted in both Catholicism and paganism together. So where you take your practice is up to you. Okay? Where you take it is entirely up to you. And no matter where you stand, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, if all of us Santa Muerte followers were standing face to face with one another and somebody insulted her, I'm sure we would all band together and defend her name, no matter our differences. I know that much. But yeah, I just wanted to share that thing about the adornments, the idol. you know, putting your energy into something, the colors, all of that. I just wanted to share my opinion on that. But, you know, you do things however you're comfortable. This is just me right now in my practice and how it's going right now. I'm very minimal because I don't have a lot of room. So I'm very minimal. But I will say this, but one more thing before I go. I separated the idol from the altar. And let me tell you, that was not good, considering the fact that for me, those two things need to go together. They need to stay in line with one another, because one is like a battery for the other. And when I separated them, it was like I got separated. Okay? And now that they're back together, I feel lighter. I feel better. I feel healthier. I feel inspired. Like, she provides us so much, you don't even know. And another thing, she's not going to get in the way, right? If you decide to expand your education in other realms, she's not going to get in your way. But you don't want to forget where you came from, right? You don't want to stop giving her offerings. You don't want to stop giving her light. You don't want to stop giving her whatever it is that you normally give her for sustaining things. You don't ever want to forget, because the moment that dies down, you and your energy kind of emulate the same thing, right? I need to make a video on a very special way that if you ever decide, I need to make a video on a very special way to either sever that or to dissolve it or to do something. Because I made a video like you can bury statues, but I need to make another one on how you can dissolve it if need be, because people leave all the time, you know. Or maybe I don't need to make that video, because maybe you shouldn't even be thinking like that. But anyways, hope you guys are doing good. I do have an Etsy shop in case you're interested. I do sell lots of Santa Muerte items. The moment you place your order, we make it. We make a lot of our stuff. And the rest of the stuff I get from Mexico. So, yeah, let me know. I also do readings. I do petitions. I do lots of Gallina Negra. If you don't know what Gallina Negra is, Google it. I love the Gallina Negra. And she works perfect with Santa Muerte. They work hand in hand. They're buddies, and they tag team their work. And yeah, that's it for now. So hope you guys are having a good one, and best of wishes. And if you have any questions, leave them below. And of course, anything offensive or that's not productive to the channel will get deleted by me. Oh, and sometimes YouTube automatically deletes comments. Not my fault. Don't know why it does it. But see you guys next time.